What's going on, guys? My name is Naz and welcome to the Spooling Up channel. Thanks for coming here to watch. Today got a little update on the Golf. I've been noticing like a clunking noise coming from the right front suspension. I'm suspecting it's going to be a wishbone bush because I've looked and one of them slightly perished. So what I'm going to do today is swap them out and hopefully the noise goes. Right guys, here we go. Got the wheel off. It's held on by a bolt there into the subframe. You can see where it's actually slightly perished and torn. Got another bolt here onto the subframe. Also got an anti-roll bar link and where it actually attaches to the whole assembly here at the ball joint. So I'm gonna start cracking on and getting those undone, and hopefully after that it comes out quite easily. We'll see. So here we have the old wishbone. It's actually this bush at the rear here. You can see how badly damaged it is. It's quite badly torn, even around the edge. But yeah, that's the main piece of damage there. And then on the other side, you can just see where it's just been deteriorated over time. And look at the amount of movement I can have with just my hand. So imagine when it's got the weight of the car on it. Here we have the new wishbone in all of its glory. Looking pretty nice and fresh. Again, if you look at this bush, it's completely intact. Both sides. Can't even move it with my hand at all. Obviously get the perks of having a new bush here as well. And I'm keeping the old ball joint. I don't know whether that's a mistake or not at the minute, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this on. Pretty simple. All it literally was an 18mm bolt here holding it to the subframe, and an 18mm nut and bolt holding it to the subframe at the rear. Some 13mm bolts holding it to the ball joint. Just a little bit of wiggling out and it drops straight out. Doing here is fitting it in reverse order. So I'm just popping the bushes into the subframe. This one slid in, so just going to put that bolt in just so it doesn't start sliding out. This one's probably going to take a little bit of perseverance, so just going to go ahead and get that squeezed in. Then the trickiest part I think is going to get the ball joint lined up, but I'll overcome that hurdle when I come across it. So yeah, just going to crack on getting this done now. Right guys, so that is one wishbone completely on, looking good. Everything's all back into place. To be honest with you, everything was easy. The only thing I did have a problem with was getting the anti-roll bar link back on. Because it's a TT anti-roll bar, it's under a little bit of tension. So you have to kind of force the link to make it line back up. Basically I had to undo that side and put a bit of pressure down on the anti-roll bar and then force the bolt in. Everything's looking good though, it's all done. Time to put this wheel back on and crack on with the other side. Try and show you a little bit more and show you how I've overcome some of the problems and how I actually got it out of the car, because getting it off the car is quite difficult. Right guys, so keeping this pretty simple, I've chosen to undo the anti-roll bar link first. You may choose to do it differently. I'm not going to go through the whole video of me undoing it, but that's the first thing I'm going to undo. Right guys, so the next one I'm going to undo is this bolt here at the rear of the wishbone and at the front of the subframe. So that's just an 18mm bolt, and you can just undo that with a ratchet. So I'm going to go ahead and undo that one. Won't bore you with the whole video of me undoing it. That's now undone, so everything's literally undone. I've undone these 3 bolts here as well, as you can see. So should be able to simply pull this out of the way. There you go. Wishbone's dropped. A little bit of wiggling to pull it out. Maybe even a little lever. Just to force that out. A little bit of a wiggle. Number 2. New one's in here. Quickly get that out. It was also worth mentioning that this sits on top of the wishbone like so, and that's what obviously has got the threads in it for the bolts that go at the bottom of the ball joint. So there you go. So this is the one I've actually taken off the passenger side, and you can see it's in a lot better condition than the driver's side, the offside front. Pretty good. So I mean, I'm not really one for keeping parts that have taken off a car, but if ever I get desperate. So what we want to do now is get the new wishbone literally slotted back into place. Roughly get it there at the front, give it a little wiggle. It's not going to be totally easy, not going to go in straight away, but get that roughly in place. Grab the bolt, and then you want to see if you can wiggle it, slide that back in. That's ready to be done up. And then at the rear, you want to do the same. So I struggled with this side a little bit, but I managed to push it up and give it a tap through. You can see the threads on the top. Just want to get your 18mm nut, drop it in there, and try and get a couple of threads started on that at least, like so. So it's going to be a lot easier for you when you finally get the spanner on it, if it's already on a little bit. Alright, so once they're done up, we're just going to slide this ball joint back into place, get the anti-roll bar link back in place, and then that's that. Right, so now it's time to go ahead, get this wishbone and ball joint married up again. Shouldn't be too difficult. Should be able to pull this back out of the way and literally turn it into the right position. Slide that back in. All you got to do from the top is line your holes up with this here. So sit that on top. It's probably really difficult for you to see, but it just sandwiches everything in place. Then get your bolt through the hole and wiggle it all in. Once that slots through the wishbone and through the ball joint, you'll then be able to do it up into the bracket, and then that's the wishbone in place and secured. I haven't done anything up tight yet because I still want it to have a little bit of movement just while I'm messing around with it, trying to get everything in. So, not sure how much you can see, but I've got the 3 bolts poking through now. All of them are in place but just not done up, so I'm going to nip them up, nip up the back and nip up the front of the wishbone, try and get my anti-roll bar link in place, then do everything up tight. And then that is literally it. It's that simple. You may just come across the odd problem trying to wiggle a bolt in, but you can overcome that just with wiggling the wishbone about, trying to move things, trying to undo one thing so it gives you a little bit more slack with something else. You should get it in place. Okay, so if you struggle getting the anti-roll bar link back into place, what you can do is crack off the top half so you've got a bit more movement on it. And also, you can jack up the wishbone so that the hole meets the anti-roll bar link better. And then, yeah, once everything's in place, you can just decide to do everything up. And then that's it, wheel back on, car on the floor, little drive to let everything settle. Right guys, so that's another successful job done. I've just taken the car for a quick test drive. That banging noise that, if you can remember me saying, that was on the offside front is completely gone. No other noises have developed since I've fitted them, so everything seems to be running smoothly. I will take the wheels off after a while and have another look at them and make sure everything's okay. It's just once you put coilovers on a car and the suspension's quite solid, you end up putting a lot of stress and strain on some of the existing components. So glad they've been changed now. Easy job. If you do have any questions to ask, and fire them away guys, and also don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you with the next video. And once again, thanks for coming to watch a video on the Spooling Up channel.